Hello everyone, welcome to my investigative object project. I chose to focus my project on artist Cindy Sherman and how she incorporated feminism into her work. To be honest, I wasn't very clear on what feminism was, so I'm glad that I chose this topic for discussion. Despite the strict rules regarding women in Western cultures, Cindy Sherman was able to break the mold of the average woman with her feminist collections called Untitled and or self-portraits by portraying herself as many different women. The object that I chose for this project is a photo of Cindy Sherman, and this photo is called Untitled Self-Portrait of Marilyn Monroe. This photo really spoke to me because I've always found the life of Marilyn Monroe fascinating, and I wanted to dive in the feminist culture and learn more about it. Based on my research, I've discovered that Cindy Sherman is hesitant to discuss the true meaning of her works. I've read she enjoys people trying to dissect her work to uncover a real meaning. So I took it upon myself to really interact with her artwork and put myself in her position. I was constantly asking myself during this project, what is the goal she's trying to accomplish here? And what is her message to women? In looking at this photo, I was immediately drawn to it when I saw it in the textbook. I just love how she portrays herself. I thought she was really Marilyn when I first saw this photo, so I was surprised when I learned more about Cindy Sherman and realized that she had done a whole collection portraying herself as different women. She's just very dramatic in the face and the body language. You can tell she's trying to look risque while trying to look innocent and a little naive. I really love this photo and how she portrayed herself as Marilyn Monroe. On this slide, we have Cindy Sherman photographed as a film still. Cindy Sherman believed and showed through her many photos that being a woman is always sort of a performance. Therefore, she wanted to photograph herself in as many different roles as possible to show that you choose your own identity and that you can always be different. Throughout this project, I've become incredibly grateful for people like Cindy Sherman, and I think that all of us get a little lost in what we are supposed to be doing, like finishing college or starting a family, that young women should act a certain way, etc. I think that we forget that we don't have to be anything, and Cindy Sherman really proved, for young women especially, that you don't have to be a cookie-cutter version of a human being, that you can portray yourself as anyone you'd like to be. I feel like she really captured that in her collection with Untitled and the self-portraits. Another woman in art that I would like to discuss is Artemisia Gentileschi. Sorry for any mispronunciation on that. Gentileschi was one of the most important painters of her era, and she was simply overlooked because she was a woman. Gentileschi was a victim of rape and constant abusive treatment from men. She brought immediate attention to beheading through her artwork, a very different approach than how men artists would display beheading in their artwork around this time. Feminist art historians have brought her work to light, and she painted large historical paintings that were considered beyond the ability of women of her time. I find the work of Gentileschi very powerful. The message here is quite strong. Gentileschi shows a woman beheading a man as a sign of power and almost dominance, it seems like. Another example of how just because you're a woman doesn't mean you have to act a certain way. Yes, these photos are very powerful. They definitely put the woman in charge, as you would say in these photos. A very powerful and strong message that Artemisia Gentileschi is portraying here. And on this slide, I have chose to show the Navajo wearing blanket, which was woven by a woman. In the modernist era, weaving was considered a minor art, and feminists are attempting to change the perception of that and make the importance of weaving by women well known. I chose to include this wearing blanket because I think it's important to acknowledge all the works of women, and they deserve the credit for the hard works that they've done, instead of completely ignoring them, like with Artemisia Gentileschi's paintings. Pottery, weaving, and decorative art have been labeled minor works, and feminists are breaking down the barriers regarding that. And I think it's very important that we acknowledge everything women have done, from large paintings that capture moments of history that maybe we wouldn't rather No, but from weaving blankets, women deserve credit just as well as the men do. So, despite the works of women being ignored, us feminists have come together to bring awareness to equality now more than ever. And instead of overlooking or ignoring the works done by women, we can embrace them. I believe the message that Cindy Sherman was sending to women was, hey, you can do or be anything you want to be. And she chose to express this message in an extremely artistic way. And since I was doing so much research on Cindy Sherman, I actually decided to follow her on Instagram. Her posts are so creative and captivating. I'm so glad I got to choose her for this project. And having read about someone so creative really inspires me and motivates me to be the best version of myself regardless of my gender. And we all have the power to do anything. And here is my works cited page. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation, and thank you again very much. Have a great day.